As they say, a lot can happen in a week. I'm serious.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What's popping, y'all? It's your man, Cloudboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports. Hopefully y'all had a fantastic weekend. I did, because first off, Bucks have tied the series. I'm very happy because I'm anticipating this series is going to be a good one, because at the start I was like, this isn't looking good for the Bucks at all. Game 1 I was like, everyone's really getting in, and then Game 2 is just absolutely awful to watch. It was like the first quarter I was done with the game. I didn't even watch it. And then the third game was same. We were still held. It was still held under 80 points, and Bucks somehow pulled out a win. Holiday gets the game winner, but this was a great win. This was another great win. This was a game where Giannis took flight. Also, everyone else really had to step up. Holiday seemed like he played good, and Middleton played great. How about PJ Tucker, player of the game? On Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant may have scored 28 points, but when he was guarded by PJ Tucker, he was 3 out of 12. That was outstanding defense by PJ Tucker. To the point where Steve Nash said that wasn't even defense, that was just not even basketball. Okay? You can't be heated about that much of a loss, I'm sorry, but that's just how it goes for that. But yeah, this is a big game changer. Now, obviously, a lot of other things happened that I'm going to probably get to, but this was a great win for the Bucks. If Brooklyn would have won this game, I'd say, oh yeah, the series is over because they're going to go back to Brooklyn. But Milwaukee won. They took advantage of the situations that they were given and finally had a better game shooting the ball. Now, I'm not going to say this wasn't they didn't light up the three-pointers. They shot well. This was like the first time in the series that they shot well. Game 1 and Game 2, and even a little in Game 3, they all shot terrible. And they happened to win Game 3. Brooklyn was 12 seconds away, from possibly walking out here, and then Holiday gets the game winner. Great defense and that's how it happened. But I am so happy, to be in this position, because first off, you're going into Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is now riddled with, you don't know what's going to happen. So, of course, the big thing that happened also in today's game, or yesterday's game, was Kyrie Irving left with an injury. Now, of course, the X-rays were negative, so there's no broken bones or anything. So if there was a broken bone, I'd say, yeah, that's the season. But, of course, it's a high ankle sprain, so with sprains, the timetable's like, you don't ever know when you're going to come back. So, likely, he probably won't even play in Game 5. And also, James Harden, not even available also, With a groin strain, he re-injured it, Who knows how long he's going to be. A lot of people thought he was going to be back already, but apparently, that's serious. So, James Harden and Kyrie Irving both could be out Game 5, and that would be a huge loss for the Nets, which means you're going to have to expect like a 40-point game from Kevin Durant. If you're at home, Kevin Durant's just going to go off. You can't not say that. But the thing for the Nets is they need to have guys that really step up if both those guys are gone. Now, that's a great thing for the Bucks, because The Bucks could just walk in this motivated after a win, and they're like, oh, let's just go in there and win. And then we come back home. We can take the series. It's crazy enough to think of that. And, that possibly could happen. Or the Nets come out with a storm and get a response and win Game 5. And then you're like, ooh, that now we have to win Game 6 and Game 7. Like, I don't think... Now, what do I think will happen? Do I think both of those guys could possibly be out? Yes. And if the Bucks win, I think obviously they're going to have no choice but to put Harden in. Obviously, we saw what happened in Game 6 for the Lakers. I don't want them to do that because, as a Bucks fan, I don't want to see that happen. But, you saw what happened to AD. They forced him in there, and it made his groin injury worse. I don't want the same thing to happen to Harden. That's just not something you want to see. You don't want to see your stars getting injured on different teams. That's just unfair. But it's just, that's how you feel. You don't want to lose games. Now, the thing is, Kevin Durant's going to have to go off, so I think PJ is going to have to be expected to really step up huge in these games later. But he has just been great. PJ Tucker has just been phenomenal in this series so far in these last 2 games. It's just great to watch him really get on Kevin Durant, especially even in the regular season, those games. You saw him really putting pressure on him. Everyone knew he was going to get the start, So that's great for him. Absolutely fantastic that we're actually looking like we're matching up with the level that Brooklyn is playing at. And we all know Brooklyn, with all 3 of those guys, is the best team probably in the league. So if the Bucks take advantage, that could be huge. So obviously, timetables for injuries, you don't know what's going to happen. Now, I'm not going to act cocky and say, oh, we got this. No. We're going into the opposing team. Lots of fans there. It's going to be really tough, You played in your home court, and you had it. But we haven't seen the full-grown Bucks yet. Like, the Bucks that catch down the shots, We haven't actually seen that at all in this series. So, even in yesterday's game, they shot better. They had their best shooting game wise, but I think this is going to be a game where they really know they have to take over. And the same thing with the Nets. It's on the line. So you're expecting a lot Game 5. If the Bucks win Game 5 and they go back home, that's a big deal for the Bucks. If the Nets win, then that's a big deal for them because they win a game and then they slowly bring their stars back in. That's going to be a problem for the Bucks. So it could go either way. So that's my thoughts. I didn't want to talk too much, but it'll be interesting what happens. But it's a great deal for the Bucks right now to be where they are, because a lot of people at the start, they thought the series was over. After getting blown out by 39 in Game 2, you're sitting there like, this might be it. But the Bucks, they're like, nah, they answered, and that's how it was. So it's crazy enough to think that this is how it's going, and crazy enough to think it. So Game 5 tips off tomorrow on TNT. I think the game start time probably is like 6:30 or something. It's probably the only game that's on tomorrow because Phoenix had swept Denver, so now there's only 3 series continuing. On the other hand, doubleheader tonight. You got 76ers taking on the Hawks. Sixers are up 2-1. I picked the Hawks to win that series because I thought Embiid was not going to be healthy in time, but I was wrong, so things might be different here. And then you also got the Clippers and the Jazz. Game 4 of that series. Clippers looking to even that series up. Jazz looking to take an advantage. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with any of those games, but it'll be interesting. Also, congratulations to Phoenix. First time they've reached the Western Conference Finals since 2010. Pretty big deal. Last time they did that was when they had Steve Nash and Stoudemire and people like that. So anyways, it's Man Club Boy Bales. Stay tuned for more updates. We'll see y'all soon. Probably my next update video will be tomorrow after that game. So anyways, take care. Go Bucks. We'll see you next time.